Of course, Bafana Bafana, they're securing a 3-1 victory up against their neighbours Zimbabwe, and with that victory they are now tied on 7 points in Group C. It is of course Rwanda that occupy that first spot in the group, just having a better goal difference than Bafana Bafana, and Benin also on 7 points there in that group. And of course we will wait a long period, 9 months to be exact, in terms of the World Cup qualifiers, because the next time that South Africa will be in action will be in March 2025. So these qualifiers being played over a period of 3 years to see whether or not South Africa will make it into the 2026 World Cup out in the USA, Canada, as well as the United States of America. All right, and we do have now former Bafana Bafana captain Mbazo joining us on the line to talk about what we saw out in Group C yesterday. Bafana Bafana securing a comfortable victory out at the Bloemfontein Free State Stadium. A good morning to you, Mbazo. Thank you so much for joining us on Sports on Morning Live. How are you doing this morning? I know you were out in Bloem last night. Are you back in Johannesburg?
Yeah, good morning, V. Good morning to the listeners and the viewers as well. It's a cold morning, but I'm doing very well.
Let's start perhaps, Mbazo, with a review of how Bafana Bafana has played in the last 2 qualifiers. I mean, we saw the team really trying to adapt well and extend time on the road, because that Nigeria clash, there was a lot of traveling there. There was a lot of things happening in terms of the traveling, the delays, the time that they arrived there, but they were still able to get a point away from home in Nigeria and then coming back and securing the 3-1 victory against Zimbabwe. What do you make of the team's performance in these 2 qualifiers?
Look, V, I mean, every time when Bafana wins, South Africa is happy. With the traveling, the difficult travelings they had going to Uyo, coming back with a point, that wasn't an easy point to come back with, to be honest. With playing against an expensive side of Nigeria. And coming back home, a beautiful victory last night. Convincingly victory, beautiful goals, I would say. You could see that there's a chemistry in the team, there's an understanding in the team, there's confidence in the team. You can see even there's that maturity within the team. I'm watching the bench, Hugo Bruce. He looks so comfortable. Helman Kelele as well. So that shows that there is absolutely light, in the tunnel. I mean, look, for me, I think it's still early days, as Hugo Bruce was saying after the game during his post interview. In early days, there are games to win, there are games to lose, but I think really, for me, I see that, I truly believe that Bafana Bafana has that possibility to qualify for the World Cup.
Indeed, and I mean, you speak about that bench. Let's talk about that first change that Coach Hugo Bruce made from that Nigeria game coming into last night's game. Of course, Percy Tau being dropped to the bench and Oswin Apollos coming in. And we saw Apollos, I mean, yes, he didn't find the back of the net, but he had such a stellar game, and those assists that he was giving throughout the clash. Let's talk about that player.
Sorry, V, I'm driving. I couldn't catch that. Sorry.
I'm saying let's talk about Oswin Apollos' performance last night. We know that he made it into the starting 11. Against Nigeria, we saw him coming off the bench, but yesterday he got the opportunity to start. What do you make of his performance?
Look, for me, I always said, looking at Bafana right now, there's unbelievable structure. Bafana right now reminds me of Bafana of 1996, where Clive Barker, when he made a substitute, the player understands exactly what he's supposed to be doing. It's exactly the same as Apollos last night. I mean, it was a very difficult game for him. I could count maybe a couple of passes that he couldn't really have a beautiful control in. But second half, he was a totally different player altogether, creating goals and making it difficult for the full back, for right full back of
We do seem to be losing our connection to Mbaza there. He did mention that he's driving, of course, one of the former Bafana Bafana players that was out at the Free State Stadium yesterday supporting Bafana Bafana. And of course, we know that game ended 3-1 in favor of Bafana Bafana, putting them tied on 7 points now with Rwanda at the top of Group C. And then Benin finishing off the top three just in terms of those standings. A very interesting clash. And as I mentioned earlier on, it will be 9 months before we see Bafana in action again in terms of these qualifiers. And also massive congratulations to that young player on his first cap for Bafana Bafana. Sela Mudawa once again solid for the nation, and a huge congratulations to Coach Hugo Bruce.